guys, it's Jessica from the Retro Farmhouse. Today's video I had done probably about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, and I just haven't really put it out. I apologize for not putting out many videos lately. Obviously everything's going a little crazy right now, and we're just kind of been prepping and kind of preparing things and just doing stuff at home. So I kind of realized that, you know, a lot of you all are at home as well, and so maybe just to keep a little bit more entertained, you'd probably like some more of these videos. So I'm also working on another video that I'll try to have out maybe within a week or so, another Arteza video that I've kind of collaborated with them. And so I hope you guys enjoy today's farm vlog, just to kind of see what we're getting into here. Really wanted to get into starting more gardening, and especially with everything that's going on, it really kind of opened my eyes to want to prepare more things at home, get more self-sustainability. And so come along on our journey and we'll show you guys how we're doing that. The first thing I wanted to get done today was just kind of rake up all of this dead hay. This is great to go into our compost pile, and you really can't give this to the horses because once it goes on the ground it tends to get kind of moldy, and horses can get really sick from that. So I obviously have my little helper here today. She just loves to help in any way she can, and you know, she just has so much fun playing out here in the barn. If y'all saw my previous video, this is where we usually go to take our compost. And again, this sits out here for probably about 6 months or so, and we usually try to flip it just to kind of aerate it, but it kind of just does its own thing. And then eventually I can use this compost in my gardens. So I just want to give a little update of our little garden area that I showed you guys last week. If you hadn't seen my previous little farm vlog video, we had the chickens and ducks over here on this spot for about a week and a half just to kind of eat the grass down and fertilize it, and to get it ready for a spring garden that I want to do, probably some raised beds, and I'm probably going to end up fencing in this area here and putting like a little gate. That way, you know, like wildlife, that sort of thing. We don't really have a whole lot of that around here, but so that doesn't come in and just eat the garden up. But what I'm gonna do is, what you want to do if you're doing this type of thing is you want to kind of put some tarp or garden tarp or anything like that down, and that's gonna, you know, keep the grass from coming back. So basically it's going to keep your soil fertilized, and it's going to keep any of the weeds and anything like that from growing up. So we've kind of placed a bunch of tarp over this area, and we're going to keep that here until we're ready to start building on this area for our garden. One thing I wanted to try doing this year was just some container gardens, and so I'm just taking some of my scrap wood that I have here, and I'm just making some raised boxes that are able to be outside in the weather. These are just old deck boards that I salvaged, and I'm just kind of putting these together so that way I don't have to bend over as far when I'm dealing with some of these containers. And I'll show you here in a minute the kind of containers that I use. So this is what this ended up looking like, and I like the slatted look in it. It also allows for better drainage from my containers. So this is what I'm doing with the boxes. This is my next garden experiment, so to speak. I am going to be doing container gardens. Hold on, baby. I'm going to be doing some container gardens
So I've actually used just some plastic tote containers that you can get, and I've put these boards on made these boxes on the bottom, obviously to help elevate it, to get more drainage, and then also so I'm not bending down like really far if you're like, you know, picking vegetables or whatever we'll end up putting in these. But for my boxes underneath, all of this wood is pressure treated wood. Are they the prettiest things that I've ever made? No. But do they serve the purpose that they need to serve? Yes, because this area stays, you know, kind of moist. Like I said, we get a lot of rain, so you definitely want to use pressure treated wood with, you know, outdoor screws for the weather. And this just allows, you know, the water to go down through. And what I've actually done here, let me see if I can get a better shot here. So I flipped this over, so I don't know if you could tell here, but I've drilled a bunch of holes into the bottom just to allow for some drainage. Now the key to this, if you're ever doing any kind of container gardens like this, these can crack really easily on any kind of drill pressure. So I recommend, if you're putting any type of holes in your drainage containers, to make sure that put the drill on there and just kind of the lightest of pressure, because if you start it up, a lot of times that's going to heat up and it's already going to melt the plastic anyway. So you just barely have a little bit of pressure. Obviously you could see right here I pressed a little bit too hard and started to crack it, because you can break these and crack them really easily, and if you get big cracks in here, then that's not going to hold your dirt and the weight of everything. So I just put a little bit of drainage holes in all of these. A lot of times you can find these at thrift stores, or you can also find them really cheaply after like Christmas season or holiday season, depending. I got a lot of mine at Lowe's. They had some on the clearance section, but I'm using these to kind of do some container gardens as well, just to see how those turn out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start out with some compost. I got this out of our compost pile. I just have to pick out some more of the weeds. But I'm gonna chop this up really good with my shovel here. And I'm just gonna mix this in with some topsoil that I got from the local hardware store, and then I can start planting in some of my containers.
I like to mix this in just one shovel at a time. That way I'm mixing it pretty well with the compost and topsoil, and then I'll just end up adding some water to the top of this just to kind of soak it a little bit before I start some of my seeds. And here in Louisiana, we can go ahead and start a lot of our seeds outside. Our last frost date is usually the first week of March. And I wasn't sure if I explained this in my previous farm vlog, but these two eggs laying on the ground here, these are the duck eggs, and ducks do not lay in a nest. They just kind of lay wherever on the ground. So you kind of have to, it's like a little Easter egg hunt. You kind of have to find out where the eggs are. But right now we have 2 of our females laying. We have 3 female ducks, and duck eggs are a lot richer than chicken eggs. I probably mentioned that last time, and the shell of them is a lot harder. So hopefully we'll be getting a lot more egg production in the future, because we also got some new little ducklings that we have inside. And of course my little helper is wanting to go in and collect the eggs. She always loves to come out here every day and collect the eggs. Still not quite great with keeping them from breaking, but she still loves to help out nonetheless.
And I also just wanted to show you, you may have noticed they're in a different pen now. So we actually got them a pen from Premier One, and this is a little solar battery that we can connect to this pen, and it's actually electrified, and we don't really have any problems with keeping the birds inside. It's more to keep predators out. And this is a new little thing that my husband built this past weekend, and it's more or less like a movable coop, and we'll be able to kind of put this inside of this pen and replace that with the dog kennel. And we just used some salvage tin, and then we ended up screwing some containers in here that we cut the bottoms out of, and that way the hens can come jump up in here and they can have little nesting boxes they can lay their eggs in, and then I can actually close the top of the lid and access the eggs very easily.
Thank you guys again so much for coming today. I hope that you all are safe at home, that everything is going well for you, and just maybe a little bit words of encouragement. Things that I do right now is just really trying to not take anything for granted, just really being blessed for what I have, keeping myself busy. If you can, go outside, get some fresh air, obviously, be distancing yourself from, any kind of social interactions. But, I really hope that just kind of like going outside, checking out nature, just sitting and listening. I think this is really a way for us to kind of be unplugged from a lot of different things and just kind of get back to our roots with a lot of things. So I really appreciated you guys coming along with me today, and we'll be having another video up next week. See you guys again. Have a great day.